The 2022 Kink Cloud is one of Kink's higher end BMX bikes in a very, very bright color. This bike adds in full chromoly, but it also has some aftermarket parts. This is Travis Hughes' signature BMX bike, and this is what you need to know about it. What's up guys, my name's Douglas, I run Dougsterbob.com and this YouTube channel, and I make helpful BMX content so that you can find the perfect BMX bike without beating your head on the wall. I can only make so many videos, that's why I've created a ton of free tools for you to use in the description. There's also a spot there for you to enter to win a $100 gift card from Dan's Comp that you could use towards your new bike or some upgrades for your bike. All of the information about the Kink Cloud is pulled from the Dougsterbob app, which analyzes over 80 different BMX bike and has a complex scoring system to score the bike in a bunch of different factors. There's also more information about each bike than you will ever need to know about it, but it's available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. If you want it and use it to research your bike, you'd be silly not to use it, but that's where I get all this information for this video. The Kink Cloud is a solid BMX bike. It's Travis Hughes' signature bike, and it only comes in a gloss iridescent chrome colorway. Now I talked about this earlier, that this chrome colorway might get your bike stolen if you leave it in a sketchy area without it being chained up, because it looks so flashy. It looks really cool, but it also, you don't want your bike to get stolen, and this bike says, hey, I'm an expensive bike, steal me. Oh, what was I doing with my hands? The Kink Cloud is $150 more than the Kink Switch, making it a $749 BMX bike. Kink's line is starting to get very expensive when we look at the Cloud and when we look at the Williams, but the quality also goes upwards. The Cloud comes in a 21-inch top tube, which makes it a great choice for any rider who's over 6 foot. Now the Kink Cloud only weighs 25.3 pounds, which is very light compared to the Switch and very light compared to the Whip. This is with the 4 pegs, so when you take off the 4 pegs, you're getting an even lighter bike. When we talk about quality, the Kink Cloud scored very high. It scored a 7.4 in the quality score, and that's the highest score we've seen so far throughout Kink's line. When a bike scores a 7.4 in quality, it means that the frame, forks, and bars are high quality chromoly. This bike has 2 double wall rims in front and back, all of the bearings are fully sealed, and the bars are actually aftermarket handlebars. As you know, aftermarket is the way to go if you can afford it, because it's going to outlast the normal chromoly option. It's going to extra outlast the high tensile steel option. So if you can find a complete bike that comes with some aftermarket parts, it's a good choice. Alongside these aftermarket bars, we've got 4 pegs, 0 hub guards, and a free coaster. The free coaster is important to street riders and some park riders like Pat Casey because it unlocks a certain type of style and certain tricks. Because of this high quality score, the bike doesn't really have a weight limit like some of the other Kink options. People of all weights could hop on the Kink Cloud and expect it to last pretty well for them. I used the Dougsterbob app to find 3 bikes that have similar quality to the Kink Cloud. And what I want you to do, if you're considering the Kink Cloud, you'd be silly to not look at these other 3 options, because one of these bikes might actually be better for you. These 3 bikes are the Sunday Street Sweeper, the Sabrosa Letum, the Sabrosa Malum, and the We the People Trust. All of these bikes have a 7.1 or a 7.2 quality score, which puts them very close to the Kink Cloud. Because of the $749 price tag and the 7.4 quality score, this bike scored a 7.16 in value. The value is going to be lower than the Kink Switch because the price went higher without a significant increase in quality. This bike sits at 7.4 in quality while being $250 more than the Kink Whip. The Kink Whip has a 6.9 quality score, which isn't that much lower than the Kink Cloud, especially when you consider the price difference. Now, it's not a bad bike. If you're looking for a high quality bike with a free coaster and with some pegs, getting this bike is still a good choice, and a 7 value score is better than a lot of other bikes. When we do reviews about different brands, we'll be lucky to get over a 5 in the value score. However, I did come across 2 bikes in the Dougsterbob app that score very close to this bike while costing less, and that's going to be the Fly Orion and the Sabrosa Letum. Both of these bikes are going to cost a little bit less than the Kink Cloud while scoring very close to the same in the quality section. The Kink Cloud is designed for someone who likes flashy BMX bikes, who wants a bike right out of the box with street functionality, and who wants a pretty decent value. The bike is higher quality than most of Kink's line, so this person could be a little bit more serious about BMX or a little bit on the heavier side. Either way, this bike is designed for someone who's comfortably at a beginner or a mid-level and wants to use a solid bike to progress into the high-level riding. Because of the 4 pegs and the free coaster, this bike is going to be best for someone who likes to ride street. It's designed with a street package to be functional for street riding and unlocks certain street specific tricks. On the other hand, it is more snappy and more responsive than other bikes in Kink's line, making it a pretty good choice for technical, responsive park riding. Someone who likes to ride a little bit of street and a little bit of park would be very comfortable on the Kink Cloud. Anyone who buys the Kink Cloud can expect it to last for a pretty decent amount of time. It's significantly stronger than high tensile steel BMX bikes, and it does have a few aftermarket parts sprinkled in there, which will definitely outlast high tensile steel or even chromoly. You can still upgrade the Cloud to make it better for your kind of style or your specific needs, but as it comes, it's a pretty strong BMX bike that won't need much upgrades in order to maintain it. So I don't hate the Cloud, but I don't particularly love it. And the reason that I don't love it is because the spot where it's at in price and quality just doesn't really make sense to me. Most riders who need a bike with this quality will get by just fine on the Kink Whip or the Kink Switch. Most riders who want something a little more serious are okay to spend a little bit more and buy a bike from the $1,000 price range. The Cloud is not a bad bike, but it really only adds in aftermarket handlebars and a couple other small minuscule aftermarket parts, keeping the quality at about the same as the Kink Whip and the Kink Switch, with a pretty big price increase. So again, I don't hate the bike, but most people who would spend this much on the bike could spend another $200-300 and get a much better choice. If you still think that the Kink Cloud is a good choice for you and you said, you know what, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna buy the Kink Cloud, I put a link up here. It's gonna take you to Dance Comp. I love working with Dance Comp. I actually just ordered a bunch of parts from them and the service was incredible. You're gonna enjoy it too. Click that link to make sure that they have the bike in stock. If you're still looking for a bike and you're not sure which one's right for you, I got you. There's a link in the description for a free bike recommendation. All you have to do is fill out your name, your height, your budget, your skill level. I will take a look at it and I'll send you a PDF with 3 bikes that are perfect for you. Most people end up buying one of the bikes that I recommend because this thing is so helpful and it just narrows down your process. That way you're not looking at 100 bikes, you're just looking between 3. And that's my way of giving back to the community and helping you out. Links in the description. I know you love this video, so hit the subscribe button and let me know which bike I should review next.